Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the bottle of surprises coloring right here. As you see right here is a baby picture right here of me, and then of course with most of us have seen it before. But then of course he's talking about his bottle of surprises. Is it where I had drawn right here? Of course, is like a diagram right here. Say kind of like a diagram, but it's a baby bottle, and you see was that is marked right there is the measurements about it's like it's like spoonful is to say is that the amount of say baby formula it is that so far is remembering about the fact about whenever whenever you whenever you were to have your meals fed to with the baby bottle it is that a lot of times is with most babies that they could probably think about. It's like that if you're had the baby bottle with you, and then a lot of times it's like wondering about it tastes good, and then knowing about it's like that whatever the baby's thinking about whenever they are what you call having their meal, and then of course it could be breakfast time, or it could be lunch, or it could be the fat it could be other things that they could be thinking about. Of course, it's like such as we say is of a birthday that and more likely they could be thinking about is what they what they want to watch on TV or anything like that. But what I of course what I'm drawing right here is of course it's like a sketch right here of me, and say follow from one of my baby pictures it is. But what I'm doing right here is using a red, and of course coloring a little bit of the part where I show right here is is the legs right here by me as whenever I was a baby right here. But other than that that is basically talking about a bottle of surprises. And of course it's like with most people think about it, is like with bottles that for baby bottles not really what you call a soda bottle, but for baby bottles that you would think about is like that you fill it up with formula, then you feed the baby, and then maybe the mommy later on will probably be wanting you to get used to the big boy cup. I guess with most parents they would prefer it as like the big main cup or anything like that. Something you can drink out of, and other than having to raw in the baby bottle. But I'm sure with most parents, it is with most doctors, you could say that they would recommend a baby bottle, and maybe until after the child turns at least maybe 15 months, something like that. After they get a little older, then they can go to the big boy cup. It is. But anyway, you got right here is the coloring right here of me, and then of course right here you get is my arm, and then of course see here use the red right here to put a little coloring right here is like, and then you got right here is like you got the chin right here, and then along with my ear. But other than that, you got right there, and you got with the red, and then of course this color right here will be known, I think, as a peach type color. See here it says the sandy beach. So kind of like a peach type color. But anyway, go ahead and add a little bit of that right here, and then of course on the neck. But anyway, and the details for that. But basically, talking about right here is with the baby picture of me, and then of course add some details right here. Is like for the for the blue is like you have like a little outfit right here. Knowing about is like that a baby bottle that of course I don't have the baby bottle anymore. It's I don't know like whatever happened to it, if it got lost or damaged or whatever. But you have right here is talk about with the baby bottle is knowing about whatever that's in there. It's like knowing if it could be formula, or it could be what you call that certain special thing. And a lot of times it's like thinking about is that really how come my favorite color has been blue ever since I was about 8 years old. And a lot of times a lot of people probably think that maybe if they're I don't know too much anybody whose favorite color was yellow or orange or anything like that. But But you can maybe also think about is that it's like you say, hey, have your favorite color be pink. It's like if you want to, it's like you add a few layers of pink right here. It's like for the baby outfit, and then add some green. Yeah, my favorite color may have been green at one time, like a lime type color. But anyway, but you see right here is that of course that there's probably they probably got different names for the colors, of course, but I guess there's at least 8 maybe 9 different colors all right here in that baby picture right there. But anyway, you got with the baby bottle, and then of course you have right here is talking about what it is, like the story of my own, and which most people probably say on their birthday. It's like for the birthday present. It's like the things that they wanted on their first or second or third birthday, if they can remember what they got, what the parents got them or their aunt or uncle got them. And I remember that a couple of times that I would get something that I asked for, and sometimes I would not get what I asked for, but then of course they would at least give me something anyway. And in a lot of ways at the time I wonder about birthdays is that you're turning a year older, and something to play with after you turn a year older. And I remember that on my birthdays it was of course that I would a lot of times always get excited about my birthdays, is that I would want something, or I would go somewhere, hang out with my friends, that type of stuff. And I did not have too many what you call sleepover parties or anything like that. Most of the things that I want to do more likely were like going bowling, and had anything to do with the game system. I would probably say that during the time that the Sega Genesis, of course, was around, along Super Nintendo and Game Boy Color, it was that I wanted that type of stuff. And every once in a while that my mom or dad would buy me art kits and stuff like that. But of course, one thing of course about this is knowing about that surprise. It's like a surprise, a bottle of surprises. It is that surprise in a bottle is knowing about the fact about that you don't know what college is, and of course with business and office and homeowners, it's like home ownership and what it's like story. And it's never say never, and then along with the color birthday is talking about is that a lot of times whenever you're young, whenever you're a young kid, that a lot of times it seems like you learn the curse words first before you learn to say the alphabets, letters of the alphabet. And then along with knowing about is like, why does Kermit have blue and white eyes, or whatever you call it. But other than that you have right here is knowing about the fact that you don't really know what college is. You may not even know what $100 is. But then on the other hand too, that as you get older, you begin to realize it's like why do you need to be wrapped up? Why do you need to be wrapped up in order to be comfortable or whatever? But other than that you have right here is like quite a few mysteries about whenever you're a kid. Whenever you're a kid, that you maybe tend to ask questions a lot of times. Ask your aunt or your uncle or whoever about the fact about what you had whenever you were young and stuff. And sometimes they may not be able to remember, and some things that they do be able to remember. But of course, I remember that one thing I do remember, of course, is knowing that I got into the hobby, of course, of art, and then of course knowing about exactly what a microphone was. And I remember whenever I was young, anything that had to do with maybe a keyboard or maybe a musical instrument. I know I played the clarinet a couple of times, but other than that, anything that had to do with a microphone or an art kit or anything like that, anything to do with coloring, then more likely that I would be interested in that. And for whatever reason, I never got into Boy Scouts. I was in Boy Scouts, but for whatever reason, that I didn't want to participate any longer. I think within about 5 hours of it, I think I was in Boy Scouts maybe a couple of times before, and I remember parents were like, how come you didn't like it? But on the other hand, too, that I was just thinking that if it didn't have anything to do with cookies, then more likely I'm just cookies or brownies, then I don't want to participate. But other than that, you have right here is talk about the education and say for the color birthday. But one thing that the thing about is that if anybody were to ask me, what's it like, to be able to hold up a baby, it may not be a baby of my own, but other than that, it's like a joke. Is to know is that well, it's just like holding any other living thing, and it's like, well, what about a monkey, a little furball, pet monkey? It's like if you want to hold the monkey, no, I'm not talking about that living thing, but other than that maybe not too many people would have a pet monkey, more likely a pet dog or a cat, or maybe a lizard or whatever it is that more likely you could probably think about is that really, that first, the thing needs to be clean before I can hold it, and I really don't want to hold it. I really don't even want to hold a frog or anything like that. But other than that, it's like you wonder. It's like with the monkey. That with the monkey, it's like you get to do the dance, and then you could talk or clap hands or whatever. But on the other hand, too, that you better think about it, it's like, hey, why don't you want to hold the baby? Well, why don't you want to hold the baby? Well, if the baby is like, the baby needs that type of attention or whatever. But other than that you have right here is like with the baby is like, it's like, a bottle of surprises is like exactly about is like, that there's something about that letter M. Something about that letter M that we should know about the whole truth about me is talking about is like, for my own words of saying is like a surprise in a baby bottle. But other than that, it's like for a bottle of surprises, and I know about the measurement of about as they say is the quarts or ounces or whatever you call it, a baby formula it takes. It's like to satisfy a baby is to know is that anything that comes to your mind is like to make it possible. It's like to explain. It's like for the story. It's like for the story about that is to say never, and then the truth about the story, and knowing about the fact about is like that. It's like the meaning of what you call it is like the color birthday. But other than that, it's like it's like a baby bottle and along with the letter M and baby bottle surprises.